Alright, so this is going to be my first video. What it's going to be is just an overview of my cheap pedal board that I use for a worship setting. And just quick overview, so how the chain is and the effects and what they sound like. So let's get started. So naturally, the unaffected tone. So here's my booster. And then I'll go to my first stage overdrive. Then my second stage. Fun stuff. Then we have our volume pedal, which is very simple. Specific reason as to why it's where it's at. We'll go over that later. Now we have the octave pedal, which really haven't figured out. It's kind of fun though. Nice to have. I'm sure I'll figure out how to use it in a context eventually. Next is delay. Now this delay has trails, which is fantastic. So in other words, when I turn it off, it doesn't just cut off immediately like a DJ who doesn't know what they're doing. Then we go from our delay into our first stage reverb, which is a nice haul. It's pretty big. I really like reverb. It's probably one of my favorite effects, so I go pretty heavy on it. I'm really picky about reverbs, and cheap reverbs is a hard market to be satisfied with, especially for like worship and whatnot. So this is gonna go from this one to my next reverb, which is the Mooer A7, which really doesn't fall under the budget category, I wouldn't say. Yeah, so this one's the one that I'm using as like my very big ambient, like pad sounding reverb. It's just got stupid trails. Go on forever. And it sounds good. And yet again, trails, so that it does not just ruin the moment whenever you turn it off. So back to what I was saying about the overdrives and volume pedal and why it's where it's at. So the reason I have the volume pedal where it is specifically is for swells, which make me happy. So putting your volume pedal after your overdrives and before your wet effects makes it so that whenever you increase the volume, it does not change the amount of dirt that you have. Yeah, it's kind of fun. Anyways, so it doesn't change the amount of grittiness as you increase in volume. It just kind of has a smooth taper. heavy. It's just overdrive. Not making babies cry or nothing yet. So that is just, once again, just the amp, which is the Hot One British Invasion. I actually really like this amp. It sounds pretty fantastic. And I'm able to get the sounds that I like out of it. Also, it has a line out that is for like headphones and stuff like that, and that is actually what I'm going directly into my interface with, and that is the sound you were hearing. So it does have a speaker cabinet out as well, so that you can plug it into whatever cabinet you fancy. It has the automatic impedance detection, so in other words, you can plug it into a 4 to 16 ohms without any damage, any risk of damaging the amp or the speakers. You're not going to mess the tubes up on this amp because it is as solid state as it gets. I did purchase the Sevilla Boogie. It's the same company, same kind of deal. However, I did not realize there was such a thing as too clean on an amp. Did not know that was possible until I picked this one up. It's just too stinking clean, man. I like to run my amps a little bit dirtier, because that's just my amp. I just like that sound for whatever reason. But just to give you some examples of sounds that I like and why I chose these pedals and what has made me happy with them. To rely on pedals to do a lot of work for me. And that they do. So just to go over the cost, right? So I say it's a budget board. Compared to most boards out there and compared to most pedals available, it is very budget. So our little XP booster, which is mimicking a EP booster, is typically going to set you back about anywhere from like 25 to 30, depending on if you get it used or new. And I know the little Mosky Silver, which has a voice switch, which is what makes it more treblier than the golden one, which is why I like having the two different ones to offset. Typically goes for about $30, as well as this one goes for like 25 to 30 new, which is outrageous for an overdrive pedal, especially with how reasonably good they sound. Like, that's a good sound. I like that. That's good stuff. Octave pedals set you back like $30, $35. Once again, not practical at all. Just a heck of a lot of fun. These volume pedals by Ernie Ball, the VP Jr., you can find pretty regularly in the used market. anywhere from like 40 to 50 bucks, maybe 60. I highly recommend getting a good volume pedal for swells. It's hard. It's just hard to do it with cheap ones, so that's one of the areas that you can't really skimp on. Then you got the Donner delay, which typically runs about 60 to 65, brand new, I believe. So the reason I got this one as a budget delay, there's a lot of delays that are about 30 bucks. The reason I went with this one and spent a little bit more is because we have a tap tempo feature, which if you're playing with click tracks, so important. I really enjoy having a tap tempo. So I couldn't get away from the tap tempo, had to have that. Then it has trails, which is so important. So with this one, I can actually turn it off and on pretty quickly to give you an idea. So it's going to continue doing the repeats even though I turned it off. Whereas if you hold this down, now it's going to stop them. Just deaden their tracks. And that is not good. That is not good. Not good. I mean, just imagine doing a big fat swell and then you just cut it and it's done. No. Bad. So moving right along, budget reverb, man. So this one goes back about 40 or 50. I'm very particular on my reverbs, and you can find reverbs for like 25 or 30 bucks, but once again, in a worship setting, that's really important pedal, and I can easily rationalize spending a bit more for it. So this is my budget one. I like having a lot of reverb. I like having 2 reverbs, so I got the Moorer A7, which is kind of outrageous. It was like 80 or 90 bucks. But it does all kinds of things. It's even got like a shimmer. So yeah, it's a fantastic one. Like I said, I use the hall on this one. And then the hold function. Oh my gosh. The hold function. It will make you lazy. It's just fantastic. Once again, trails. Gotta love them. So yeah, that pretty much wraps up everything I wanted to go over with my board. I will be doing individual reviews and demos of each of these pedals. That way you really get a taste of what they're like on their own. Like on the delay, it's got reverse delay, digital delay. I typically use the tape. I'll go over that as well and the different sounds that it offers. And then like this guy is probably going to be a long video just because there's so much. So yeah, I just wanted to go over my pedal board as my first video, and that's it. So thank you for hanging around till the end, and I will be uploading videos each and every Monday is the plan. So keep your eye out, and we'll get things going.